I am done with Christmas cards, decorating, and shopping for this year, but have this bunch of Christmas dies and embossing folders I haven't played with yet. Well, there's no law that says we can't make cards into the new year with our Christmas dies, right? Hello and welcome to Karen's Creative Cards on YouTube. I am Karen Hashik and I could not resist these new Christmas dies from the Greetery, and I didn't want to put them away without playing with them first. Here's the slimline thank you card that I made with two new dies from the Greetery. One was the Roundabout Winter Foliage and one was the Small Stripes Ribbon Maker. Now that ribbon maker die is designed to put on presents. But of course you can use it on a card, and what's really neat is that you can extend it as long as you want, especially if you get their paper ribbon in a roll. Now of course all the details of the cards I share will be on my blog, and links to those blog posts as well as the products featured will be in the description box. Isn't this penguin mug card cute? It's tiny but really sweet. Love you so much is on the inside, and I got that die from Pixie Dust Designs. I wanted to use all these before I put them away, and sometimes before I get them back out again the dies are discontinued, so I want to play with them before I put them away. I got this new Sizzix Tim Holtz 3D embossing folder at a local store called Hearts and Scraps, and the price was half the price of anywhere else. So if you're local to Wausau, be sure to check them out. I made this thank you card. Of course, right after Christmas, many of us do need thank you cards for all the great presents. This is another new set I got. It is not necessarily just for Christmas, but I just couldn't resist. It is a layering stencil sentiment die and stencil set that you end up with these really cool layered words, and I'm going to use that in more of the cards coming up. So this was the thank you that I made. And this is a happy hello with another new embossing folder, this time from Simon Says Stamp. I love to find new fun folds. And I learned recently how to make this A2 size bridge card with a window from Frenchie, who is of course a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Now there's a link in the description box to the one, her tutorial, which is very good. I used more of that Greetery ribbon and their Frosty corners to make this card, and it will fold flat to mail in an A2 envelope. But I really wanted to use this new die from Cat Scrappiness. It is the Snowflake frame backdrop die. So I adjusted Frenchie's template to make a bigger bridge card with a window. So I needed the height to be 5.5. And I really wanted to use some of these transparencies, clear views from the marketplace. This one is called Winter Blues, and I thought it would be perfect on a winter card that could be for thinking of you or anything else. And these cards will definitely be displayed when they're received. This one is a bigger version, and it says wishing you well. So I might send it to somebody who is recovering from a surgery or something, and you can see that beautiful deer scene through there. I take them off of this paper and put them on glitter paper, and then the snow just sparkles, and so that was the plan. I used this is my template for that one. Really you can take any fun fold or any card design and adjust it for the dies that you own. So don't be afraid to take some paper you don't care about and just play with the measurements until it works. So again, I needed this one to be 5.5. So the length on the bigger size is 9 1/4, and I scored it at 1 1/4 and 2 1/2 on both sides. And then there is a back piece that's 5 by 3 7/8, and a bridge, which is that piece that goes across there and has it stand up, which is 6 3/4 by 1 1/4. Now I'm not going to demo that one because I adjusted it one more time. But as you can see, this would lay flat to mail in a larger envelope. After I made it, I was a little concerned that that picture didn't show as much as I wanted it to. It looked like there were some shadows and it was a little hard to see. I think whoever received it will love this. But I adjusted it one more time. I showed it to some friends who were over, and they suggested maybe shorten this piece here just a little bit so that the window, which is a transparency, or an acetate, is a little closer to the picture. So we're going to adjust it one more time, and that's the one that I'm going to make with you today. So I have a template for that. I wanted to use this very neglected penny black Snowflake frames die. I got it last year, and I think I maybe used it once, and I really love the look. So I played with this template with that size. This is sticking. And what I came up with was a version that's going to be 5 1/4 tall by 8 1/2. This piece here is a little shorter, and it's also a little shorter this way. I would prefer the 5 1/4 tall to 5 1/2 because it does fit into an envelope a little bit easier. I'm not sure what size that is, but I do know from experience this has to lay flat like this to mail. And so what is that? I have a ruler here. The card will be, 5 1/4 by 6 1/2. So, but based on experience, I know that that will fit just a little bit easier. The back on this one is 4 3/4 by 3 1/2, and I'm going to show you how to center that on the back. And then the bridge, which is this piece that goes across, is 6 1/2 by 1 1/4. Now I'll repeat those measurements as I am making one with you. So this is the piece of cardstock that is the main piece, and once again it's 5 1/4 by 8 1/2. I am scoring at 1 1/4 and then 2 1/4. So this second one is just a little bit shorter, which means the picture is a little closer to the acetate, and I think that ended up working out well. This is 1 1/4 and 2 1/4. I just flip it so I can continue to use my small score buddy. I love this. It fits on my desk and my work area much better than the large one does. But of course it's up to you. If you were using a bigger one, those second score lines would be at 6 1/4 and 7 1/4. So you can do it that way instead of flipping it if that's what you prefer. So now we're going to fold the inside ones down in a mountain, and then the outside ones up in a valley. So again, the inside fold is down. I'm using my Cat Scrappiness bone folder. This is pretty thick white cardstock, at least 110 pound, so that it's nice and sturdy. So that is ready. I am going to use the penny black Snowflake frame right in the center, and my die cutting machine is off camera. It doesn't fit, but I'll die cut that quickly. I have these two little snowflakes that comes in this set, and these are just stitched snowflakes. So they're going to add a little design to this center fold here, which I decided not to put a piece of pattern paper or mirror card or anything on that one, but of course you could. But I decided not to. So I'm going to run this through my die cut machine. I now have a Anna Griffin Empress. Jennifer McGuire recommended very highly for an electronic die cutting machine, and I do like it a lot. So this piece here is magnetic, so the dies do stick to it. I'll have to trim that just a little bit. I usually go forward and backward, just to be on the safe side, but I didn't, and certainly that would have definitely cut no problem if I would have done that. But it cut beautifully anyway. This plate here gets flipped each time I use it, and the magnetic one goes on top, and then the A plate. I have other pieces ready to go here. I love the look of just stitching dies. Sometimes you just don't want it to cut out, but you want a little bit of pattern, a little bit of interest there. I can feel that temporary tape left some stickiness, so I use my adhesive eraser to take care of that. Feel over here. I don't feel any other stickiness, but I have that handy at all times, of course. Okay, so that die cutting is done. I'm going to say birthday wishes on the back with the stencil and die cut from Pinkfresh Studios, I think. And I decided to put an extra layer on there, and I have another one of the Clearview's transparencies ready to go, and a piece of acetate which is 4.5 by 3.5, and we're going to attach that to the back of this with some tear tape from Tonic Studios. I'm really liking this. It's very strong, very easy to work with, very easy to get the cover off, which is not always the case, and it does tear, so you don't have to grab your scissors all the time. Now I like to use the patterned acetate on my cards that I've been showing a lot. In fact, I did use it on here, but I thought that distracted too much from the picture that I wanted to show. So I decided to just go with a plain piece of acetate on these window bridge cards. So the acetate is attached. And then I have 4 pieces of patterned mirror card, and that measurement is 1 inch by 5 inches. And I am using glue to attach these, so I make sure that they are evenly spaced on all sides. My new favorite is Nuvo Deluxe Adhesive Craft Glue with the fine tip needle nose. The needle is right into the cap. You can't lose it or bend it, which I do a lot with the other needles. So I have been using it a lot. I guess my only, and it's a very minor thing, I have to use 2 hands, or at least to get it started, because I don't have a lot of strength in this one wrist after breaking it. So I have to, and it's not a big deal, you know. So once I get it started, you do one hand, but I do like the strength of the glue, and I do really like that fine tip needle top, and both of those are available at Tonic Studios. You know what? Am I supposed to do this in the front? Yes, I am. Okay. In the back, I have to wait. If you use glue carefully, the mirror card doesn't like glue, but if you use it carefully, of course, it's better, because that way you can move it a little bit to line it up perfectly. So that part is done. We are going to work on the back now. I have a bridge piece that is 6.5 by 1 1/4. And I am going to attach it. You lay one side flat and you bend one side. This is how you attach it and how it goes into an envelope. I am going to measure halfway down this. That bridge doesn't have to be halfway, but what I'm finding is if I measure halfway, which is 2 5/8 on this card, and then I put the top of it right over that mark, I end up with it straight, and it's a good place for it. So we have 2.5. I want it 2 5/8 and 2 5/8. And then I also need to measure on here. This will be on the back, and I'm just marking where I want the adhesive to stop, because it's only going to be attached here and here. And for this purpose, I decided to use a good strong red liner tape. This is, did I get this at Tonic? I think I did. Not sure. But you know, the different sizes are available, and I always try to choose a size that works perfectly for each project. And we want this to be good and strong, because people are going to open and close it and display it. So, but you could use glue. I sometimes don't have patience to let the glue set. So I decided to use a good strong tape for this purpose. So I'm going to take the top off of that. And then I have my mark here, and I'm going to just barely cover it up and go to the side here. And then while this is closed, I mean, you know, this is flat, it didn't want to quite go to that pencil mark, but hopefully that's straight. You can take a dryer sheet and get rid of some of that, those marks on the, those little things on the acetate. I don't think I have one handy, but I will do that. So now that that's across, I am going to attach these to the sides to cover up the and decorate the sides of the back of the bridge card. Even spaces on all sides. And while they set up, I will decorate my back piece. The back piece is 4 3/4 by 3 1/2. You just want it to be a little shorter this way and to fit centered on that bridge. I decorate the back, and then we're going to put this pretty picture on the front of it. I have some of these snowflakes from the Penny Black set already cut out. This is tonic tissue tape on the back of that, so that this back is sticky and will stick, because as you know, mirror card really doesn't like glue, especially the little dies. That would definitely glue, show. If glue gets onto mirror card, however, don't use like an adhesive eraser. That won't work. But if you can try a little wet wipe, a baby wipe, or a little liquid on a cloth, that will sometimes get it off without making a mess. Now I decided this is going to be a birthday card, and I made those layered stencils and die cut it with the matching dies. And then I like a little shadow on there, especially putting white on white. The outside of the stencil is white, so it wouldn't show as much. So I just added a little extra shadow with that same die cut out of navy blue. And I like that raised look with a little bit of a shadow. Now this is going to be centered right there, and there's several ways to do it. What I found I thought was the easiest thing to do was to just look at it and decide, I'm assuming that's in the camera, the only adhesive is going to go right here, and I want it to be centered top and bottom and right and left on that bridge. So I'm going to put glue right in that area, and then I am going to try to line it up where there's an equal space here and here, and also the top and the bottom. I'm going to get up and look at that. Looks pretty good. I'm going to get it started adhering with that glue with my hand, or at least I'm going to try. Now I'm moving it. And then, while it continues to set up, I'm going to use this. This is a paperweight that I created myself. I have these old larger acrylic blocks, then I'm not using it all because I have a stamp positioner, and most of us do. So on Split Coast Stampers, somebody asked, I think it's Dina Coel, an idea. What can we use? What can we do with these older acrylic blocks that we're not using? And she said she made a paperweight to put on something that the glue is setting. And I thought, what a great idea. So I had this one real large one, and then I had this slightly smaller that has these nice beveled edges. Again, I'm not using them because I use my Misty all the time. And I put a, decoration on there. You could put a picture on there or just leave it blank. And it's nice and heavy, and it covers the whole thing. And I set it on there. I keep it right by my desk here and set it on there while the glue is setting. So that is a nice way to reuse something. I am going to get this last snowflake ready. It was from the part of that Penny Black set, and it's like a charm. So I'm going to cut the little charm piece off. I don't want it to be a charm. I just want it to be a pretty snowflake. And that should be set. The back is ready. I have one of those snowflakes there. And then this is going to slide in here. Again, we're going to use glue. And again, I'm going to try to line it up so that it's equal at the top and the bottom and on the sides. So I think I need to look at it this way, and I'm hoping. So again, I'm going to put glue on. So I've got a little maneuverability. I put this pretty picture, which is one of the Clearview's acetate pictures, on a glitter background, and put a stitched die around it. That stitched die is from Dies to Die For. And I'm going to slide it in here and work with it so that it's even at the top and the bottom and from side to side, hopefully. Could be. It's hard to do that, but the glue allows us a little time, but I guess it's going to stay where it's going to stay, right? That's really pretty through there. And then I'm going to put this snowflake on, and I think I'm going to put it partly on the acetate. It's because it does stick very well to the acetate with that tear tape on the back. Our bridge card with a window with the adjusted size is done. The recipient will get it in an envelope. It'll be flat, and then it will stand up for display. They'll see that pretty picture inside and the snowflake frame, and then on the back it says birthday wishes. If you want to stretch the use of your Christmas dies and supplies well into the new year, like I did, look at them a little differently and try something new. I hope my cards inspired you to do just that and give some of the ideas and products featured a try. Watch the next video for more card making with dies ideas, and take time for some card making fun this week.